Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Indian Forest Act 1927. So, these are the content, a brief introduction about the act and the chapter of the act. I will discuss only the important chapter of this act. Let's start with the introduction of this act. This is the principal act applicable to forests of India. The Indian Forest Act 1927 was largely based on previous Indian Forest Act implemented under the British. This act was adopted on 21st September 1927 to consolidate the laws regarding forest. It also defines the procedure to be followed for declaring an area to be a reserve forest, a protected forest, or a village forest. Now, the question is that why we need these three categories of forest. In India, majority of population depends on forest for resources. The user of forests have recklessly utilized the forest for cultivation and destroyed them in the name of agriculture and other personal consumption of food, timber, fuel, and fodder. The need for legislation protecting and regulating the forest was required, which was met by the Indian Forest Act 1927, imposing governmental control over by classifying them into reserve forest, protected forest, and village forest. This act is divided into 13 chapters with a total number of 86 sections ranging from the definitions of various forests to the penalties. The act is classified into three types of forest, that are reserve forest, protected forest, and village forest. These forests are categorized in different chapters of this act. Chapter first is preliminary. This chapter deals with act provides definition of terms forest officer, forest offense, forest produce, and cattle. The section second of the act, that is interpretation clause, defines various terms that are essential in forest domain. The forest officer who is made in charge by the state government. Forest offense means an offense punishable under this act. Forest produce, which includes timber, non-timber, wood oil, charcoal, etc., and the cattle inclusive of all the animals. Chapter 2 is about reserve forest. This is a very important chapter. The most restricted category is reserve forest. The chapter ranging from section 3 to 27. What is reserve forest? I will tell in a simple words. In any forest land or wasteland to which the government has the ownership and to be declared as a reserve forest under section 4. In reserve forest, the forest settlement officer settles all the rights either by admitting or rejecting them. Section 26 of IFA 1927 deal with the prohibition of many activities including hunting, grazing, felling, cutting in the forest. The use of the reserve forest is prohibited to the local people unless they have a permission by the government. The penalty for the violation of the provision of section 26 is imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years or with fine. Chapter 3, it's about village forest. under Section 28, the government assign any reserve forest or any other land to the village community for their uses. That piece of land is classified under village forest. The state government may also make rules for regulating the management of such land. In chapter 3rd, there are two terms. One is village forest, another is forest village. The term village forest and forest village are different in their meaning. While village forest is a legal category under the Indian Forest Act 1927, forest village is merely an administrative category. Although the latter is recognized by the Forest Department, the revenue benefit cannot accrue to such village as they are not technical under the revenue departments. Now the fourth chapter. This chapter is about protected forests under the section 29 to 34. Protected forests are the forests which produce non-commercial wood. The state government is empowered to constitute any land other than reserve forest as protected forest over which the government has priority rights. In the protected forest, some customary grazing rights are allowed, but the several movement restricted in the protected forest. The government also has the power to reserve the specific tree species in the protected forest. The sole reason behind this being that those particular trees have the revenue raising potential and are thus required to protect it to their benefit in the economy. One of the objectives under Chapter 4, the Act regarding the levying of duty on timber and other forest produce is deal with Chapter 4, which extend to the produce that takes place in the territories and is under government control. The Act covers the rights of the government over the forest produce that is floating or transit in the riverside. Now, the chapter 9th. It's about penalties and procedure. The chapter ranging from section 52 to 69. This is also an important chapter of this act. We have to know about the penalties and procedure of the different forest types of this act. The act was mainly incorporated to differentiate the types of forest while protecting their use as well as regulating the forest produce. The classification of forests involves the rights of the government and determines how a forest or a wasteland become a reserve or protected. The procedure requires the Forest Settlements Officer to consider the claims made by the local inhabitants regarding the uses of the land. Later, make decision based on his discretion either to accept or relocate or to discontinue the practice. First notify as per section 4 of the act that the particular forest area piece of land is going to be as a reserve forest or protected forest. As per section 6 of the act, the FSO may call of an examination of any person who he may think has the knowledge of the facts, including the evidence of any person likely to be acquainted with same. No new rights in the notified land may arise after such a notification has been issued, and those claiming any pre existing rights have a period of at least 3 months to appear and assert such rights and to make a case for compensation. The Act is inclusive of the provision that are necessary considering the protection of forests and their regulation. Further, the Act deals with the seizure of property by the forest or police officer where if has a reason to believe that there is any commission of offense with respect to the forest produce. The officer are required to put a mark on the property being seized and have to prepare a report which is then given to magistrate having jurisdiction of the matter. Means the act ensure that power are allowed to the forest officer by the state government with relation to entering upon the land to conduct a survey, ensuring search warrant, conducting inquiry and recording evidence for the same. The evidence are them ad- admissible in trial before a magistrate for the offense committed. Now, the drawbacks of the Act. First one is the Act lacks with respect to depicting the forest as a mean of ecological catchment and the importance of forest in an individual life. The importance of biodiversity and conservation is not elaborate in the Act. The Act mainly focuses on forest land, its produce, and the officer, whereas there are no detailed provision for the fauna under the Act. The government focuses only on forest produce rather than its conservation and protection of vegetation. Considering the importance of flora and fauna being an essential part of the forest.